At the end of last season, when the Boston Crusaders were finished performing on the field, it read it with their props and also with guard members as well. It read BAC was here. That is a message that will be left on the performance field once again this season. Of course, not obviously right in front of your eyes, but definitely the Boston Crusaders will come out flying. Thank you for watching this season preview. This is the season preview for the Boston Crusaders from Boston, Massachusetts. They've been a DCI semifinalist every year since 1983. They've been a finalist for every year since 1999. Their best finish has been 5th. They've done that 3 times. They've never get higher, though. 2000, 2002, dropped off from 2003 up to about 2017. 2017, the new design team comes in, revamps this court up from 12th to 6th in 2017. Then last year, getting them back to this 5th place mark. Last year, as I just said, 5th place with a 94.313 score on season's end. So now looking ahead, the 2019 schedule for the Boston Crusaders will start with the DCI Tour premiere in Detroit, Michigan on June 20th. That event will be streamed in movie theaters nationwide. Visit fathomevents.com to find your local theater. So they'll start June 20th, then travel to Ohio June 22nd, then Innovations in Brass Massillon, North Canton, Ohio for that show, a new venue due to stadium construction at the other site. That's another Flow Marching streamed event. So in the case that you're watching at the movie theaters and on Flow Marching, you'll get to see the Boston Crusaders' first 2 shows. That's great. And then moving along here, they'll kind of do a not odd tour, but a little different than usual. They'll go to Indiana at the Drums on the Ohio show in Evansville. Then they'll move east and go to Pittsburgh, Innovations in Brass Pittsburgh on June 26th, and Drum Corps and American Tradition Allentown edition on June 28th. Then they'll go up to Lawrence, Massachusetts, the East Coast Classic, June 29th. They'll start off the July tour, July 2nd, with Drum Corps and American Tradition MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Then July 5th and July 6th, Crown Beat and DCI Orlando. DCI Orlando, another Flow Marching streamed event. Then moving on in their schedule, they'll travel a little bit around the South and really just stay in this southern portion of the United States other than the Belleville, Illinois, DCI St. Louis show, traveling to Tennessee, Illinois, Oklahoma, Texas tour, Arkansas, Tennessee, and then this whole schedule here culminating with the DCI Southeastern Championship in Atlanta, Georgia on July 27th. Any other events I want to point out here? I think just 2 or 3 really big ones. July 13th, DCI Memphis in Memphis, Tennessee. That's going to be interesting. They meet up with the one corps sticking off the top of my head right now that is at that show is Santa Clara Vanguard. I believe Carolina Crown also is attending that show along with others. Those are 2 corps, especially Crown. If they're attending that show, that could be the event where the Boston Crusaders defeat Carolina Crown. If you say in 2016, Boston's going to beat Crown in 2 or 3 years, everyone says you're crazy. Also, if you said the Mandarins would make finals in 2016, everybody would have also said you were crazy. It's just how quickly things change in the activity. One design team goes from, in this case, both the Cadets and Carolina Crown goes to the Boston Crusaders, and all of a sudden they are a championship contender. The other show I want to point out here is July 20th, the DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio, the first regional of the tour this season. Then this final segment of the tour, starting July 28th with Night Beat in Winston-Salem, and then moving July 31st to the Tour of Champions Chester edition in Chester, Pennsylvania. And then starting August, again back up in Massachusetts, come down for the Saturday event of the DCI Eastern Classic on August 3rd. Then August 4th and 5th, they'll be in Buffalo and Akron. And then August 8th through the 10th of the DCI World Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's just amazing how 2 years ago, really we'd be saying, like, put all the staff changes aside, like, right after the 2016 season, it's like, they better do something, because if they don't, this is not going to be good. They're going to drop out of finals, and now we're talking about them being a championship contender. The 2019 drum majors, the student leaders obviously playing an important part in the core. The Boston Crusaders, their press release announced 3 drum majors for the season. Josh Bollinger, this is his 3rd year with the Boston Crusaders. He is a music performance major on bassoon at James Madison University in Virginia. He currently teaches at Tuscarora High School, their band in Virginia. Coral Navarre, this is her 5th year with the Boston Crusaders. She's currently attending the University of Central Florida, UCF, double majoring in music education and trumpet performance. And then finally, Gavin Schmidt, this is his 2nd year with the Corps. He was marching trumpet last year. He is a sophomore studying special education at the University of Kansas. He teaches band at Platte County High School in Missouri. So a common theme here is kind of that they're all going to school for an education degree, whether that's music education or, in Schmidt's case, special education, and that they are also if 2 or 3 of them are teaching at local high schools to their college. So now the 2019 main or lead staff for the Boston Crusaders. I'll go down all of these names, highlight a few and their backgrounds. Really, without this staff and the recruitment ideas and stuff and just stuff that they bring with them to the court, I don't know if we're having even a half a conversation about the Boston Crusaders being championship contenders as we are. Go down this list now. Chris Holland, Executive Director for Inspire Arts and Music, the parent organization of the Boston Crusaders. Keith Potter, Artistic Director. He marched the cadets in multiple WGI groups in the 1990s. He's worked with Center Grove High School, Avon High School, and Carmel High School, that is, all being from Indiana. He's also taught the cadets and the Cavaliers, most recently at Carolina Crown until 2016. Keep in mind that whole blurb there, really marching cadets, teaching at those high schools and those drum corps, because many of these guys on this list have that same background, which I'll get to as I go through. Leon May, drill designer for the Boston Crusaders. He marched the cadets as well, was a member of the visual staff at that corps until 1997. He was teamed with Keith Potter at Cedar Grove, also worked with Avon. He was with Carolina Crown until he came to the Boston Crusaders. Michael Townsend, lead designer and choreographer and color guard director. He marched the Cavaliers and Pride of Cincinnati and has been another crucial part of the Keith Potter, Leon May design team. Brady Sanders, designer and choreographer for the Boston Crusaders this season. He performed with the Cavaliers from 2003 to 2007. He was a choreographer there from 2008 to 2015. He's worked with Pride of Cincinnati, Winter Guard as well. Ryan George, composer and arranger for numerous drum corps and marching bands in the nation. Colin McNutt, director of percussion, he was another crucial part of why the Boston Crusaders are where they are, coming over from the cadets in that off-season between 2016 and 17, really raising percussion performance very well for the Boston Crusaders. Ian Moyer, front ensemble arranger, another one that came over from the cadets. Really, if you look at this, visual came from Carolina Crown, and music came from the cadets. Michael Zellers, electronics designer this year. He used to be with the cadets, working with them with their electronics program. He has worked with Jersey Surf and the Reading Buccaneers as well. He's currently the percussion director at Leander High School in Texas, one of the most successful marching band programs in the nation, and also the percussion director at Running Brushy Middle School in Texas. Eric Kosman, head of audio, comes over from the Bluecoats this year. Don't quote me on this, but his wife, I want to say, is the director of bands at Vista Ridge High School, the defending UIL 6A state champion in Texas. Gino Cipriani, brass caption head for the Boston Crusaders. From 1990 to 1999, he was a brass instructor at the Blue Devils. 2004, brass caption head with Santa Clara Vanguard. In between there, 2001 to 2004, and then again from 2005 to 2016, he was the brass caption supervisor at the Cadets. He also currently works with the Reading Buccaneers, the, of course, best corps in DCA, and he is also currently the assistant band director at Gettysburg College in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Zach Schleicher, he is the percussion production designer. Kylie Hubbard, the color guard caption manager, and finally on this list, Aaron Bailey, visual caption head. He marched with the Glassman and Santa Clara Vanguard and has worked with Center Grove High School in Indiana, Centerville High School in Ohio, and another Ohio band program, William Mason High School. So as all corps do, the Boston Crusaders have a little bit of a preseason agenda before they hit the field the first time, of course. From May 22nd to June 12th, and this is something that really, as I'm going through each of these course schedules, they're all kind of moving about. They're just use the Cadets, for example. They're in Pennsylvania for May, and then they move to Ohio, or the Academy. They're at 4 different housing sites throughout just June almost alone, a little bit of May. So really what the Boston Crusaders have been able to pull together is a good housing site, Castleton University in Castleton, Vermont. Not necessarily going super local, but definitely going in that same region. They have spring training from May 22nd until June 12th there, and then really the next week is just random rehearsals and random events. Starting June 12th, the concert in the park, they have this every year in Boston. I like this event because this is our first look at the Boston Crusaders, because somewhere or another that video from that event always ends up on social media. That's really what's one of my most look forward to events of the whole season, because it's especially in that whole week, because that's when people start posting videos and really start getting engaged in the tour. June 14th, the Spring Fling in Dorchester, Massachusetts. That's performances by both the 2019 edition of the Boston Crusaders and also the Crusaders Senior Alumni Corps. June 15th, 17th, spring training. That night, June 17th, a community night. Kind of just a give back. We've stayed at the university for a few weeks. Now we're going to give back, show you guys what we're all about at Castleton. And then they'll move down to Pennsylvania June 18th and 19th at Du Bois Area High School in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Head up to Detroit June 20th and perform there that evening. So now the Boston Crusaders 2019 production. It is entitled Goliath. In the description of the show on their website, really what they're talking about is the biblical tale of David versus Goliath. And if you think about it in the context of drum corps, the thing that's ironic about this show is Boston is the Goliath. Really, this design team can go anywhere across the board. They can go and finish 7th this year. This corps could finish 7th. I would say the chance of that is less than 1%, but I think that's the farthest down they could go. If this show epically failed, that's where it would go. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. good recruitment from these past few shows. They've really built it up, getting this staff, adding one or two new members this year. I think the Boston Crusaders are set up for success. And that success, I said it could go all the way down to 7th. That's not going to happen. Let's be real. I'm not going to put a limit on this. I think the Boston Crusaders could very well, and it would not shock me at all, win the championship this year. I'll be making my predictions in my season preview, like overall drum corps season preview, not just these individual corps ones. And I think many of my predictions will shock viewers, but I think that I'm confident in where I'm going. I'm confident that Boston will finish top 3 this year because this design team, this is their 3rd year. They either, I would say, win, but at least medal, or they really, I don't know if this design team continues, like between Gino and Kala and the former Crown staff. I don't know if this design team withholds another season if this show doesn't win. I think there's so many new faces popping up across the marching arts from really the high school level WGI and some new faces in DCI. I think Boston might be, like the board of directors and executive director and whoever else might be like, we have to make changes if this show doesn't win or come close. So, as I just said, my prediction for this show would probably be a 3rd place finish, but that might change based on stuff I see before the season starts. So now, last thing, as a part of this episode, I'm going to go into the repertoire that the Boston Crusaders will be bringing with Goliath to the field this summer. I'll just run down here and maybe add a little bit of context onto one or two of the pieces. Starting at the top, Enough of Our Machines by Son Lux. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Tears for Fears. On the Shoulders of Giants by Peter Graham, Giant Steps by John Coltrane, My Shot by Lin-Manuel Miranda, Fanfare for Rocky by Bill Conti, and Once Upon a Castle by Michael Dougherty. The two pieces, I only have 2 here that I really want to look at, and really I don't know if I'm even looking at the piece. I think what I'm looking at is the composer or writer or whatever you want to say. First one's On the Shoulders of Giants by Peter Graham. And the reason I want to look at that is because Peter Graham really has, his pieces have just been started to pop up everywhere. Like, literally, just thinking about cores, I'm like, probably a 4th of the cores this year have a Peter Graham piece involved. And if you think about it, 2017, both the Blue Devils winning show and Santa Clara Vanguard's silver medalist show, they both played the same song as their opener from Peter Graham. That's the first thing I just want to touch on there because his music's just starting to pop up all over the activity. And the other one here, which we've not seen, at least I haven't seen anything in BOA or WGI. It might have been there, but anything from Hamilton, the Broadway musical, the Lin-Manuel Miranda piece, My Shot, that's something, I mean, this whole repertoire is bouncing from, like, every different genre of music. There are a lot of genres here, thinking about, like, British brass band to jazz to, like, classical to romantic time period. Like, all these different genres and time periods of music are all being shined in this Boston repertoire, and it's not something we've really seen in the activity, at least in the past few years. So that's where I'll leave this season preview. Thank you for watching. I have just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCoreGeek, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where this podcast and more will be posted, Drum Corps Central. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.